Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So, let's start off with Dex and Joss, because if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know how I feel about Joss, right? I don't think that she's the worst character, and I think back in the day, Christina was a hell of a lot worse than Jocelyn. But, with that being said, I still have issues with her. And one of many of the issues I have with this level of delusion that she has. You know, she finds out from Dex what wound up happening to him, Sonny, the betrayal, and everything like that. And of course, she starts spouting off her usual hate Sonny, blah, blah, blah speech, right? And she's like, well, now you're free. Before she even went there, she talks about how she can't lose him and seeing what Trina's going through, she can't do it. But the thing is, you knew exactly what you were getting yourself into, you know? So you can miss me with this whole concern and I was so worried and blah, 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 blah. You knew exactly what you signed up for. You knew the score, you knew the deal. Shut your mouth, okay? And she's like, well, you're free. You clueless, blind idiot. Dex explains to her what everyone else in the room, everyone else that's there watching the show already knows. You're not free. There's nothing free about that. You're just on a temporary little break. And he tells her all the possibilities that could wind up happening to him. From Sonny's rivals to the feds to the fact that he knows way too much information about Sonny's organization to ever even consider the word free. Then she's like, oh, I didn't think of that. Maybe we could sit there and run together. We could just run away. That's pretty much all I gotta say about that. So now she's all like, you know what? I'm gonna sit there and talk to Sonny. I'm gonna sit there and make him realize. I really do hope he tells Jocelyn to kick rocks without effing socks. Because all you have done since the whole he hurt your mommy is bash this man left and right. Okay? And what she doesn't understand is without Sonny and his protection, she would not be able to sit there and walk these streets safe. Okay? So he should just, honestly tell you the truth, Sonny should just disown nearly all his family. I mean, yeah, he can keep Dante, he can keep Olivia and Ava and stuff like that. But as far as Michael and Josh is concerned, you can go. You can be dismissed. And that means with all the perks as well. So, open season on the family, oh well. But she's all like, I'm gonna sit there and talk to him. I'm gonna sit there and try to see him to get him to see reason. If he, the fact that he practically disowned Michael, which, let's be honest, is his favorite, you really think you're going to sit there and get through? That should be entertaining. And speaking of, as Sonny calls him, Judas, Michael tries to explain his reasons of why he did what he did, the justifications that he used, and still trying to justify, I only did it out of love and this, that, and the third. And he does sit there and says that your life is still in danger, somebody in the organization still wants to get you, you need somebody to watch your back. Do not let your anger and your pride take over. Which he was 100% correct. I'm surprised that Sonny didn't sit there and say, I pretty much disown you. You're not my son. You're nothing to me at this point. Especially after he found out that you were going to sit there and try to take me to jail? You're gonna separate me from my little girls? How would you feel?" Michael didn't say a damn word, as he should. Now, before that, he was pretty dismissive towards Ava. That was out of pocket. But after he's done with Michael, he does sit there and ask Ava to stay. And one of the things that Ava did sit there and say was, "Hey, listen, um, you still got a threat, and we're alive because of Dex. So maybe throwing him out, maybe having him in a win, will do more harm than good. Because, like she said, your other enemies going to want to know what's going on. The feds are going to sit there and know, and you still got a problem. You still got a rat problem. So you need Dex." Sonny has two choices at this point. And I feel like there's going to be a third option. I will tell you that option in a minute. You can either kill Dex, you can bring him back into the fold. Those are the two options for him. Now he does sit there and say in the previews that you got to disappear. Now there's a third option: marriage. I don't think that's going to really help, but I'm just throwing it out there because I'm surprised that she didn't sit there and think about it beforehand. Because Jocelyn does get down to Sonny's place, talking about banging on the door and being all bossy and everything. So I guess we'll sit there and see if that option flies. Drew tries to buy Nina's hotel. This is after he is sabotaging her startup for new magazine. A person that was supposed to be meeting Nina canceled on her. And apparently a lot of other people canceled on her too. So when Drew got there, Drew was like, "Listen, I gave them a choice. They can either work for you or they could work for me. But even talking to you at this point, they're going to get fired." He's pretty much like, "I'm going to undermine you at every single level, but I will give you an option. I will buy out your half of the hotel and you can leave." And at some point he leaves. Or no. At some point, Valentine comes in there. Valentine was talking to Anna about Charlotte, congratulating her on being the new commish. And then, sees the argument that's going on. So he walks over there like, what's going on? What's good? And he tells Nina, "Listen, do not quit. Don't sit there, fight back. Don't just give up." Because Nina's like, "Listen, I'm also just sit there and just admit defeat and just kind of just count it as a loss." He was like, Valentine's like, "No, don't do that. Do not do that." So he fires her back up, and when Drew comes back over there again to sit there and offer to buy up the half of the hotel, she's like, "Nope, we're going to war at this point." And then Valentine makes some sort of call. So I'm very, very, very just curious to sit there and see how that goes. Nina is not going down without a fight, and I'm here for it. Now, when Christina tells Blaze that she had to sit there and tell her sister about them seeing each other, surprisingly, she was not upset about that. Which, in all reality, I thought that she was because, yeah, her sister may not say anything, but the fact that somebody else knows and she still hasn't come out, I thought that would be an issue. But instead, she's just smiling ear to ear, and I'm just, the whole time I was like, you didn't really need to sit there. Oh, maybe because she didn't sit there and say that Molly told TJ. And I'm assuming that Blaze already knows that probably won't have happened. So I was just kind of surprised by her not even being a little bit angry or anything. But Blaze sits there and says that her mother's coming to town, and Christina's like, "Hey, let's not back off a little bit. I still got things to do." But this is what Molly said. Molly was like, "Listen, you don't like, do you even want to be with her if she's not ready to come out? You gotta sit there and be kept like a dirty little secret. That's not fair to you." And when she was so willing to do that, I guess that gave Blaze the strength to sit there and see if she was going to come out. Because in all reality, that relationship is not going to work. That relationship is going to be doomed. And, this is why I sat there and said before, like, yo, listen, if she's not going to get ready to come out, y'all not going to want to work it out. And you should have just dumped her and stayed broken up. But she said she was going to come out. And if you've been on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, um, something ruled. The chick that played Bola Vista on CSI Miami is coming to the show. I used to love that show, by the way. So I'm very curious to sit there and see how that goes because she said that her family is very old school. Now Dante and Jordan are they're trying to come up with ways to get the gunmen to sit there and flip and tell us some information because they feel like the FBI, you know, um, John and them don't really want to work with the police, not really. So it's like they got to get the ball rolling fast and trying to come up with a way to get this guy to flip and also try to keep him safe because once this guy flips, any sort of person that did business with him is going to want to silence him. And when Anna gets to the police station, they tell her that there was an attack on a prison van or whatever, and Olivia Jerome is dead. And I hope that's not the case because that would definitely suck. I would have loved to sit there and see her come out and do something or whatever. I thought that would have been interesting. So if like they just killed her and they did it off screen, it would definitely suck. For just so many different possibilities that they could have used her for. And there was this brief conversation between Anna and Drew. And, Anna's there saying that she noticed a change in Drew, that he's a lot more harsher and stuff like that. Like, granted, he's been through a lot and he has a reason for it, but ultimately, this war with Nina isn't worth the payback. Like, you're not going to regain everything you lost just by coming after Nina. You're only going to wind up hurting yourself even more. And, Drew said he would sit there and think about it. Of course, he goes right back to Nina, so clearly he just said, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm going to sit there and continue my war against Nina now. So I feel like that's about it. I can't think of anything else that wound up happening. I might have missed a couple of details here or there, but if you feel like I did, come to a live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll be sitting here talking for an hour and a half about General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Boy and the Beautiful, and Young and Restless. Because I got some stuff to sit there and say about Bold. If you're a Bold fan, I got some stuff to sit there and say about Bold. And some stuff to sit there and say about Y&R. And of course, I'm going to have some stuff to sit there and say about Days. So if you watch any of the other three soaps, you definitely want to sit there and come through as well. Yes, I may sit there and put up the title about General Hospital, but I do always welcome the other fans of the other soaps to sit there and join the conversation as well, because I do watch all four. I do watch all four. And even if I don't do a review on all four, we're going to be sitting there talking about them. So yeah, definitely come through. And with that being said, I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next video.